Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming along on a Wednesday afternoon. It's my pleasure to give you a little tour of fundraising on our terminal, our data, a little about myself. I've been at Bloomberg now 2 years. Before that, I was a company which will remain nameless, but rhymes with Deacon, as we move forward. This slide is telling you a lot. So what I'd like to do is talk to you about a few things. What it really shows you is that Bloomberg has a lot of data, and it's purely and definitely global. We track 30,000 funds over. That's ever increasing every day. And what's important to note with this is that these are unlisted. They're unlisted, multi-investor, multi-deal funds. If you're looking for listed equities, listed private equities, single deal funds, that is all tracked. But when I talk about this number, it's pure traditional private equity. Further, we track 15,000 GPs. And notably, in this year, we've added 1,300 GPs in China. That's a global number. In terms of sources, on the right-hand side, we get our data from lots of different places. We talk to lots of you guys. We talk to LPs, we talk to GPs, and try and add that supplementary data to the information which we can find on filings, media, and news. FOIA is a big thing for us, but I will freedom of information requests, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Final thing to mention is about our deals data set in terms of the data. That number is actually a little bit low. It's over 180,000 now. That deals data set includes stuff like direct deals. I mean, that was mentioned recently, and I think that's heavily important in today's climate. But also, it's supplemented by tools such as BNEF, Bloomberg New Energy Finance. So if you're in the infrastructure, real assets, new energy space, you can find really deep level data on the assets available currently in the market. In terms of tools and benchmarking, this will come apparent when I go through some of the data now. The last decade in PE, it's been a good 10 years. The financial crisis has now dropped off the timeline, so that's good. Makes everything look a bit smoother. Blackstone Capital 8 was obviously the largest fund ever, beating its target by 6 billion, 26 billion close. And this year is expected to expand substantially with GIP and Brookfield's fourth infra fund closes. All of this data, which I'm going to show you now, is part of Bloomberg's quarterly chart book, which I manage and put together, and I can all of you can sign up to if you'd like to at the end. Talked a little about dry powder in the previous conversation. This is our dry powder figures. This dry powder is, for me, is a conservative estimate because it's as much as a GP or an LP can report on a fund. Therefore, it is definitely conservative. I think it's been talked about a lot in the previous conversation, but I just want to highlight one thing, and that's notably the increase in growth financing available in the market, and that's probably due to two very well-known SoftBank funds. So yes. Benchmarking. This is the median IRRs for vintages across time and strategies. Bloomberg provides a really comprehensive way and transparent way to benchmark funds. The way we do this is we take only data reported in the last 12 months. And this is IRR, this is multiples, this is DPI, RVPI. You can benchmark in a huge number of different ways. We do a vanilla benchmark, so this is showing you vintages and strategy. We can go a bit further, and we can show by sub-strategy or region or country. It's very customizable. And we're increasingly very, very transparent. We're very, very good at saying what goes into our benchmarks, which is something other providers don't do as well. So if we say there are 200 2008 buyout funds and we have 100 of them with IRRs, we'll tell you that. And I think that's really important to know. There you go. Top closes this year. I think it's fair to see that Blackstone has dominated this year with another ultra-large fund actually in the largest fund still currently raising, the Real Estate Europe Partners 6, targeting 10 billion euros. All of this data you can find very easily on the terminal. I haven't mentioned it yet because it's super simple. If you have a terminal or you're looking to try one after this talk, PE Go in the top line. It will take you straight there. We fought really, really hard to make it look like a website. So when you use it, it's very similar and very easy to flick around and use. Hits and misses. Here, what I'm showing you is the funds which have currently held a final close across vintages and strategy, and what their difference was, the average difference was in that group to the target size. The thing I want to highlight here is debt funds, the current one in the yellow. The current success is in fundraising in the last few years. Personally, I think this is due to probably shorter lifespans and therefore the confidence in the longer, bigger bull market we've been having recently. Seeking capital, something I want to hear, this is all funds which are currently seeking any money. Any funds which have held any closes are also included here, but it's only the target value which is shown. So you've got number and aggregate value. All the values I've shown you today are in USD and converted across on dates. Something interesting of note here is secondary funds and the average size of them. We have currently 56 secondary funds targeting 71 billion. This is a lot. In the last 7 years, I think the average size of a secondary fund was 700 million US. Now it's over 1.1 billion. So I think that's a really important thing to note in this market. Largest funds in market, very similar to what I spoke about earlier in terms of top closes. Again, 2 large infrastructure funds dominate, but the recent launch of Apex 10 sees another European GP alongside Ardian join the top 10 largest funds in market. In terms of commitments, I think this is where I want to sit and talk a little bit about where we get our data from. We get our data from freedom of information requests, meeting minutes, outreach and the like, and it's really, really important. And something we're looking to do in the future is reach out to European public LPs to be able to see if they are subject to any of these freedom of information requests to supplement our data set. We are constantly looking for new tools, new solutions which will help you guys do your jobs. We feel like we infiltrate pretty much the entire part of workflow solutions in terms of a data set and a data requirement, but I'm incredibly wanting to hear in the cocktail reception afterwards what you think we might need more of, and that's really important to us. Feedback is great. This shows you where we infiltrate those markets in terms of fund sourcing, portfolio construction, and little stuff like portfolio monitoring, and this is for both the LP and the GP. Finally, before I take on my buys, I'll leave you with a short video highlighting what Bloomberg PE can do for you. My very own Steve Jobs moment.
For your next private equity investment, think Bloomberg. Find the funds that are actively fundraising. Screen by vintage, status, IRR and more. Track peer commitments and performance. Monitor portfolio performance and risk. Visualize the J-curve on thousands of funds. And stay in front of fund launches with AI-powered alerts. Go deeper into private equity faster.
Thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you outside. Yeah, thank you.